In this video, we are going to work on the second lab, which is called Defending the Network from a Simulated Attack. I strongly encourage you to read the introduction section. This gives you a quick overview of why we are doing things, and that's going to help you to understand which tools we are using and how that applies to a real life scenario. In short, if you go over the details in this lab, we can split the tasks in two categories. Our first task could be to launch an attack to understand how somebody from outside they can attack us. So kind of like an ethical hacker mindset to understand the vulnerabilities that we have in our network. And in the second part, we apply some recommended security measures, firewalls, antivirus to remove those vulnerabilities from the network. So we have three sections, and I will be covering the first section of the lab in this video. That's the network topology. We will work on the V workstation, and as well as then we are going to move to one of these Linux machines after we get started. Let's start with the section 1 and part 1. Now the first thing we have to do is we go to Chrome and visit this website. So basically right here what we are accessing is the Infection Monkey web interface. So that's a security tool that's running on the computer, and we can access it by using this IP address, then colon, and then the port number. Enter, and it's going to take us to the Infection Monkey interface right there. Now, what is Infection Monkey? You can read about this here as well as look this up online. But it's a security tool that will include a bunch of potential exploits, vulnerability scanners to find issues within your internal network. So if you run this, you find out the problem and then you go ahead and solve this problem. First, what we have to do is we have to configure the tool, because it has, when you go to configure, you can see there are all these different modules for launching the attack, and these are all enabled or disabled or mandatory. You can skim through this, and if you go from this, so these are all in this column. We have execution, then persistent, defense evasion. These are different steps in an ethical hacking scenario. So maybe you first identify the vulnerabilities, then you uh, get a shell or get initial foothold, and then you try to elevate your access. Then how do you persist within the system, or how do you evade detection? So these are different modules that are enabled by default. You can go to exploit to see what kind of exploits are being used, this network monkey, and then internal. You can also customize this further if you want to. Now for this task, we don't need to do anything. It just gives you an overview of what options are available. So nothing to change. Just go to run monkey and then click run on Monkey Island server. What this will do, it's gonna run the tool within your internal networks in a data center kind of architecture. So you're running it and trying to find out which device within your network is vulnerable. Now once you start this, you can click on infection map, and it's running. You can already see if you scroll down a little bit, monkey started. It's gonna take a while, takes about 10 to 15 minutes. At the end, we are gonna find this infection map that's gonna show us where the monkey it was able to go and which vulnerabilities it found. So let's wait. Okay, infection monkey is done navigating the network and finding the vulnerabilities. Now we are supposed to go into one of these devices, which is this corporationtext.com, and we'll click there. So this is our device. And it's going to show us this detailed look into the device. The instruction says we have to take a look into the exploit timeline. Now, what is that? This timeline shows you what exactly the monkey did, what kind of exploits it used. Exploits are different toolkits to get inside a device. And we can say, starting from this timeline, they tried Elastic, Groovy Exploiter, then Shell Shock, Samba Cry. Icon on the left hand side, if that's gray, that means it was not successful. But if it was red, then we can say that's a successful exploit. So this right here, the SSH exploiter, that was a successful exploit. You're supposed to take a screenshot showing it was a successful exploit. I'm going to take a screenshot right here and then done. Next, we are supposed to look at the security reports, and it shows you what was detected and what we should do about that. If we scroll down, you can see these are the machine related recommendation, what we should do to secure that machine. You can take a look at those, and we have to take a screenshot showing the recommendation. So I'm gonna capture one for this, which is for corporationtext.com. Next, we need to take a look at the attack report. We go there and then find out which ones are successful and which ones are not. In particular, we want to take a look at the remote file copy. We click there, and this specific technique, it shows us which files were copied on the device. Now it's talking about the remote zip file, which is this zip right here. We need to show that this file was copied. Good. So that's done. We are done with part 1. Now let's go to part 2. Now in part 1, we found out the vulnerabilities in the system. Now in part 2, we'll learn how to defend against that, how to get rid of those vulnerabilities. Now target Linux 01. And then go to terminal. The tool we are going to use now is called ClamScan, and it's going to scan our computer. It's an antivirus software. It's going to try to find out any malicious tool we have on the device. -8, this will show us the different options. So all the options we can send in. Let's type in -r and /, which indicates we are searching through the entire computer recursively to find out any potential issues. The scan is going to take a while. Okay, we are done with the first one. Now, if we also want to show just the infected files, we can try I for infected, and let's run the scan again. And you can see the details of the scan right here, how many files were scanned, how many folders, and how many files were infected, which is 2. We found the vulnerabilities. These are the infected files. Now, the idea is to quarantine those files. We want to separate those files, and we can do that in a folder. Let's first change our directory. We are already in the home directory, and then make directory mkdir called virus. We are using this to store. So I just created this folder. We are using this to store those 2 infected files. So we'll move those from our music folder where the viruses are right now, and we'll move them there. Now instead of just copying, we can do that using ClamScan. and it's a move the location. Cool. Now it should have moved those files to the virus directory. So let's verify. And previously they were inside the music folder. We can check if they're still there. Nothing shows up, which is great. And then I'll try the virus directory. And yeah, we have those two files moved inside that folder. And that's going to be the end. We have to take a screenshot showing those files are inside the virus directory. Awesome. So that's the end of section 1. Hope this helps you to figure out section 2 and 3. Thank you.